Thank you, Mayor Eisenberger, members of council and staff for providing time on your very full agenda for allowing the chamber to speak on this crucial matter. Richard Coruscant, our chair, and Demetrius Safridis, our vice chair, express their apologies, but they couldn't be here today, so I'm acting on their behalf as spokesperson of the chamber. The Hamilton Chamber of Commerce understands that the process of selecting the Pan Am Stadium site has indeed been an onerous one on all concerned, likely the most challenging issue of this council term, and we certainly empathize with your struggle. We've gone through a lot of struggle internally with our own organization ourselves. We're here today to provide our input, our latest input with respect to the site selection, a little bit of history. City Council, as you know, originally looked at 4 potential stadium locations and later reduced the options to 2, the airport and the West Harbour. Of these 2 locations, the Chamber of Commerce believed, and still do believe, all other factors being equal, that the West Harbour was by far preferable because locating a stadium there would tie into the city and indeed the Chamber's own vision with respect to downtown waterfront development, whereas the airport lands were more appropriately slated for employment opportunities. As a result, we've supported the West Harbour location over the airport. Now, over the weekend, as you know, there's been a flurry of activity, including the well-done staff report, for which we congratulate staff, which was released on Friday. But that report, I guess we have a slightly different read than Mr. Chamberlain, although I certainly respect Mr. Chamberlain's views. That staff report, in our view, clearly said in several different occasions that a new stadium was not viable without an anchor tenant. The federal government has been reported as saying that funding is conditional on the stadium being used for a high-performance sport activity after the 2015 games. Is the stadium really viable without federal government support, or federal and provincial government support? As I was preparing these remarks, like yesterday evening, Tiger Cats owner Bob Young announced that he's giving up on negotiations altogether. As a business organization, we look at all this, and what do we see? We see a very risky proposition if the city goes forward without a vital anchor tenant, regardless of the location. In business terms, we'd say the Tiger Cats are the city's main customers in the stadium. If it isn't the Tiger Cats, then who? If it's somebody else, great, no problem, then proceed on that particular basis. But when your main customer doesn't like what you're offering and your capital funding is contingent that a customer being happy, the realities are frankly very hard to ignore, regardless of what we'd like to see in an ideal universe. Continuing to press forward with a location absence of the anchor tenant and without the assurance of government support would put the city and by extension its taxpayers at a big financial risk. Without the strong likelihood of financial sustainability, including the associated revenues from related development, the economic legacy for the community could very well be a negative one. Like many organizations and individuals in Hamilton, the Chamber of Commerce appreciates the exciting possibilities associated with building a stadium in the West Harbour, including its potential to help revitalize the area and the downtown. But the facts, as came out in Mr. Rossini's report this morning, would seem to indicate that, at least in terms of the funding gap in capital and operating expenses, it is a less than robust business case in the West Harbour location. If the stadium is built somewhere else other than the West Harbour, we firmly believe that there can and there will be other development opportunities that will allow the city to fulfill its vision in transforming the waterfront. However, to us, the biggest concern remains losing the stadium project altogether. We still think it's we remain convinced that the Pan Am Stadium project and the active involvement of the senior levels of government in that project, as well as that of a credible anchor tenant being actively engaged in the project, is indeed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Sadly, we have since become a city very much divided over this issue, including, by the way, Chamber of Commerce members. We're equally as divided as the city itself, at a time when we should be making the most of the opportunities to pull together. With the tremendous opportunities ahead of us and time is running out to maximize their full potential, we do encourage you to make a decision today, but make your decision on the basis of a sound business case.
John, thank you. Okay, timing is good.